one of the biggest things I've noticed is that over the years, I've had maybe one or two children that were cognitively aware that they had autism, that they had that diagnosis. And then most of the kids that I've worked with, it's, you know, I'm not going to tell them that I feel like that's their family's responsibility. But where I'm at is, you seem to know early on that that was your diagnosis. Do you feel like knowing that helped you?
Well, where a diagnosis really helps an older person,
Mhm.
getting a diagnosis is a relief, because it explains why they're socially awkward.
Right.
But I'm seeing a diagnosis holding some kids back.
Mhm.
I'm seeing too much autism. Kids aren't running shopping, they're not running money, they aren't running to order food in a restaurant by themselves. And this is going on right now. The amount of kids that don't know how to just go in a store and buy something that are teenagers and kids
Do you feel like that's because they're adults in their life
are
are
overprotecting them. Overprotecting them.
because they have autism?
Yeah, that they're doing everything for them.
Mhm.
Now, one of the things to do is to give the kids some choice. Like I talked to a parent the other day, just the other day. This boy, I'm gonna guess he's 12. Fully verbal, doesn't want to leave the house. We're going shopping, Target or Walmart. Give them a limited choice. So we have some control. No, they don't have it anywhere, it's a choice. Ice cream shop or pizza joint.
Right.
Okay, I mean, just some kind of limited choice.
So you
But we
feel
are
like,
getting out of the house and we're gonna do something.
so you feel like the diagnosis is an explanation, if you can understand it?
Well, the problem with autism diagnosis is you're going from Einstein to somebody who can't dress themselves.
Right.
And it's all, and they keep changing the diagnosis. Nobody changes the diagnosis of tuberculosis, tuberculosis. Nobody's changing that. But autism in the 80s, you had to have speech delay to be autistic. Then in 94, whenever Asperger's came out, socially awkward, no speech delay. Then 2013, they merged it all together into a great quagmire of a mess. And what I'm seeing is too many of the Asperger type of kids are getting babied and not getting out doing things. Now, one problem that a lot of these kids have is rapid multitasking. McDonald's takeout window for a job will never avoid it. There's just too much rapid multitasking. But I'm seeing too many kids where the moms just can't let go and get the kid out doing things. Now, I'm not suggesting fall into a sensory overload situation, but what you've got to do is stretch them and give some choices. Like I was afraid to go to my aunt's ranch and mother said 1 week or all summer. Like one wasn't any choices. I got out there and I loved it. It was the best thing that ever happened. That's why I ended up in the cattle industry. If I had gone to that ranch, I wouldn't have gone in the cattle industry. You have to be exposed to stuff to get interested in it.
So like, for someone who's like watched the documentary on HBO,
Yeah.
like, is there some things that are like the same in your life? Like,
Well, the thing is absolutely accurate in the documentary is my visual thinking. That is shown absolutely accurately. And then all the projects I actually did, and the main characters were shown really nicely. And I can't emphasize the importance of good teachers. And Mr. Carlock got me turned around as a bad student. I was not motivated. And he gave me interesting science projects that helped get me motivated.
Like, if someone who is autistic and they can't be motivated when they need to absolutely do something, like eat or eat.
I don't know, I never had a problem with motivation for eating.
Help them into eating.
Well, you get a lot of picky eating stuff, and I think one of the things that helps with that, food prep. Play with it in the kitchen. We don't play with food in the dining room, that's bad manners. Dining room, we have manners. In the kitchen, you can mush around with it, get involved in it, put it in your hands, and that often helps on a lot of the sensory food stuff. They can play with it in the kitchen.
Like, they don't have motivation to eat.
They just don't want to eat.
They like don't have motivation
just anything. Well, one thing that motivated me is, well, we had little stickers we earned in school, right? Sometimes things like that work. Now, what do you like to do?
I like to study psychology.
Okay. Well, maybe the stuff you're doing in school is boring and you need to see what happens. And with autistic kids, it's uneven skills. You need special ed in one thing, math, that's me. And other stuff, let's go read 2 or 3 grades ahead.